Hello everyone. So आज चाहिँ हामी मोडल क्वेसनहरु प्र्याक्टिस गर्न गइरहेका छौं which was asked in like 2079 को क्वेसन पेपरमा. अब हेरौँ ल कि यो चाहिँ एउटा क्वेसन सबै च्याप्टरबाट हो, लाइक एउटा च्याप्टरबाट कुन चाहिँ क्वेसन इम्पोर्टेन्ट छ त्यसरी गरी क्लासिफाई गरिएको छ. So let's look at the first question. So the first question is, why was the success of Rakesh a matter of discussion in the neighborhood? यो चाहिँ a devoted sonबाट हो. Devoted son, the chapter about the guy Rakesh जसले मेडिकलमा टप गर्छ and then बाहिर जान्छ and then he comes back, get married to a girl. अनि बेसिकली उसले चाहिँ आफ्नो फ्यामिलीको सारा रेस्पोन्सिबिलिटी लिन्छ, उसको करियर पनि राम्रो हुन्छ, उसको लाइक हुन्छ नि एउटा टाउनमा रेपुटेसन पनि हुन्छ. सो एभ्रिथिङ ही डज वाज लाइक पर्फेक्टली like it was a complete story and a perfect one. So अब हामी हेरौँ ल राकेशको सक्सेस नेबरहुडमा म्याटर अफ डिस्कसन चाहिँ किन थियो. लाइक अब यस्तो भयो कि लाइक राकेशको सक्सेस वाज अ ह्याप्पी मोमेन्ट फर हिज फ्यामिली, तर नेबरहुडको लागि चाहिँ किन सक्सेस थियो त. बिकज he was the first child in the family to receive an education. His parents had sacrificed a lot to send him to medical college. That is why his victory or his success was a glorious gift for his sacrifice, for the sacrifices made by his parents. किनभने राकेश came from a family जुन फ्यामिलीमा धेरै एजुकेसन कसैलाई पनि पाएको थिएन, and then he was the first child to get so higher education, त्यो पनि मेडिकल फिल्डमा झन्, and who doesn't want to see their son being a doctor. अनि यो हुँदाहुँदै उसको पेरेन्ट्सले चाहिँ एकदमै धेरै सेक्रिफाइस गरेको थियो मेडिकल कलेजमा पठाउनको लागि, एज दे वर नट लाइक भेरी हुन्छ नि रिच अर वेल्दी पिपल. सो दे मेड सेक्रिफाइसेस एन्ड दे सेन्ट राकेश फर मेडिकल कलेज. त्यही भएर इट वाज लाइक अ विन विन सिचुएसन. अनि नेबरहुडको लागि पनि इट वाज रियली गुड, किनभने हिज फादर वाज भेरी क्लोज टु द नेबर्स एज वेल. अनि वेन द रिजल्ट केम, Rakesh went to his father, he touched his feet, and everybody was celebrating in the village. किनभने like scan गर्दाखेरि नि फर्स्टमै उसको नाम आएको थियो, he topped actually. So that was a very proud moment for the entire neighborhood including his family. So now let's head on to the next question. Describe the irritating things that the people do with a strange old man, a very old man with enormous wings. So what was this chapter about? This chapter was all about a man falling into someone's back courtyard. अनि उसलाई चाहिँ लाइक हुन्छ नि यस्तो एक्सपेक्ट गराएको थियो that he might be an angel भनेर. And then there was a story of two couples, and then the couple just charges money to let the people see. So it comes from there. Describe the irritating things. अब irritating पार्टहरू चाहिँ के थियो, लाइक स्ट्रेन्ज म्यानलाई हेर्न आउँदाखेरि अरू मान्छेहरूले इरिटेटिङ चाहिँ के गरिरहेको थियो त. सो वाट दे डिड वाज पिपल फाउन्ड द ओल्ड म्यान वाज इरेस्पोन्सिभ एन्ड मोसनलेस. अस्ति लाइक ब्याक टु द्याट च्याप्टर वेन वी स्टडीड इट, इट वाज मेन्सन्ड कि लाइक जुन त्यो एन्जल थियो, जुन त्यो ओल्ड म्यान थियो, हि वाज नट टकेटिभ, लाइक कम्युनिकेसन ब्यारियर नै थियो, त्यो बोल्दैन थियो. हि वाज लाइक इमोसनलेस, हि वाज लाइक मोसनलेस, and he just stood there, he just sat there and did nothing else. So the people also found him that he was irresponsive and motionless. They thought he might be dead or motionless, and they wanted to see his motion. The मान्छेहरूलाई के लाग्यो भने कि either he is dead or either he is motionless. So they were like very eager to watch his motions. So even the merciful people began to throw stones at him, trying to get him rise and get him like मोसनमा हेर्नु थियो. सो तिनीहरूलाई त्यसलाई उभिएको पनि हेर्नु थियो. द्याट इज वाइ दे जस्ट स्टार्टेड थ्रोइङ स्टोन्स एट हिम. दे अल्सो पोक्ड एन्ड बर्न्ड हिज साइड विथ हट आइरन विच वाज भेरी इरिटेटिङ टु हिम. दिस हिम इज रिफर टु द ओल्ड म्यान. सो यति कुरा चाहिँ नराम्रो लाइक इरिटेटिङ काइन्ड अफ गरेको थियो अरू मान्छेहरूले त्यो ओल्ड म्यानसँग. Now let's move on to the second question. So the third question is, describe marriage as a social institution. From the story marriage as a social institution, यो story के को बारेमा थियो भने it was about two people getting married अनि कसरी त्यसमा legally मान्छेहरू इन्भल्भ हुन्छ, कसरी families are involved and society is involved, a community is formed, तिनीहरूको responsibility चाहिँ के हुन्छ एक अर्काको लागि. So this is a question from that chapter. अनि यसमा चाहिँ ल्याएको छ म्यारेज एउटा सोसल इन्स्टिट्युसन कसरी हामीले त्यसलाई डिस्क्राइब गर्नु छ. सो दिस इज हाउ वी स्टार्ट. Marriage is a social institution because it gets approval from the society. It is accepted by the social norms and values. Approval from the society किन भनेपछि like when two people are getting married, it's not only them, it's their family also involved. अनि जतिखेर दुईटा फ्यामिली इन्भल्भ हुन्छ they get specific responsibilities अनि त्यो सब कुरा आउँछ. त्यसपछि सोसाइटीमा बस्नको लागि सोसाइटीको जुन एउटा हुन्छ नि काइन्ड अफ फ्रेमवर्क छ, रुल्स एन्ड रेगुलेसन्स छ फर अ कपल, त्यो सब कुराहरूलाई पनि फलो गर्नुपर्छ. इट इज एक्सेप्टेड बाई द सोसल नर्म्स एन्ड भ्याल्युज. सोसल नर्म्स एन्ड भ्याल्युज त्यो सबै कुरालाई हामीले हेर्ने गर्छौँ. एन्ड देन इट इज एक्सेप्टेड बाई द लिगल, मोरल, सोसल एन्ड कल्चरल रुल्स. अब when you are getting married to someone, you also share your culture. If you are from the same culture, that's a different thing. तर different cultureको भए पनि लाइक कल्चरहरू पनि सेम हुन्छ. अनि हुन्छ नि यस्तो लाइक मोरल, लिगली यु आर गेटिङ इन्भल्भ किनभने यु निड टु रेजिस्टर यर म्यारेज. मोरल भ्याल्युज यु लर्न अ लट फ्रम देम. एन्ड देन रुल्स एन्ड रेगुलेसन्स. इट हेज कमिटेड फेथफुलनेस एन्ड रेस्पोन्सिबिलिटी अफ देयर चिल्ड्रेन. Unlike live-in relationships where people are not that much faithful to each other, marriage is something where you get intimate with your partner and then you are faithful to your spouse. And more than being involved like that, you carry a responsibility and you need that sense of responsibility for your children's and like त्यो सबै प्लान गर्नको लागि, because then you are having your own family. And when you are in a relationships matra without a marriage, you are just not serious about it. अनि त्यही कुरालाई चाहिँ डिस्क्राइब गरेको छ यो क्वेसनमा. त्यही भएर लाइक म्यारेजलाई वी कल इट लाइक अ सोसल इन्स्टिट्युसन काइन्ड अफ. नेक्स्ट क्वेसन. Human beings are connected with hope. Do you agree or disagree with this statement? This is from the chapter The Awakening Age, where people crosses meridian line for getting a better life. अनि हुन्छ नि they expect something better from their own place and त्यसको लागि चाहिँ they change their place. So how are they connected with hope? Human beings get energy to live more because they have some hope for betterment. But obviously we all are connected through hope. We don't know tomorrow if you're going to wake up or not, or भोलि के हुन्छ भोलि के हुँदैन अनि हाम्रो लाइफमा के हुनवाला छ. So the only thing we have is hope, that we hope for everything to be good enough. Hope is the base of energizing our lives. The principle in the poem also shows that how the migrant workers cross the meridian line so hardly in the hope of better life. तिनीहरूले मेरिडियन लाइन क्रस गर्दाखेरि they didn't had any idea कि लाइक कस्तो हुन्छ कस्तो हुँदैन लाइक लाइफ आफ्टर द्याट थिङ. एन्ड तर पनि तिनीहरूले क्रस गर्यो because they had a hope. So that is how people are connected through hope. The poet calls the people for unity, harmony and solidarity among all the people across the world. So what the poet is trying to say is कि हामीले सँगै आएर बस्यो भने like we get unity, harmony and all around the world, all around the globe, किनभने we all are connected through hope. And त्यो एउटा that is the reason for keeping us together. अनि हामीलाई यसरी बाँच्नको लागि लाइफ दिइरहेको हुन्छ. So now let's move on to another question. Next question is, how can wisdom be taught? From the chapter Knowledges and Wisdoms. अब हामी like we can answer how wisdom can be taught. We know that knowledge can be taken, हैन. Knowledge हामी दिन पनि सक्छौँ अरूलाई, तर how can wisdom be taught? So here in the story, the writers, according to the writer, wisdom can be taught by examples, events and experiences. अब कस्तो example र कस्तो experience भयो त? For example, you get knowledge about something and you apply it in real life. अब you see त्यसले तिमीलाई राम्रो आउटकम दियो कि नराम्रो आउटकम दियो, त्यो गुड अर ब्याड इम्प्याक्टलाई हेरेर चाहिँ वी गेन एक्सपिरियन्स द्याट डुइङ वाट थिङ्स इन वाट वे मेक्स इट करेक्ट एन्ड what outcomes do we get and what consequences we have to face. The example and illustrations can show terrible effects of lack of wisdom to people. कहिले काहीँ यस्तो हुन्छ कि like when you apply knowledge to something like without any experience, without having faced any events, then कहिले काहीँ त्यो lack of wisdomले गर्दा you get a terrible impact on yourself अनि which is like very tough to recover from also. The lack of vision and narrow-mindedness, विजडम नभएको कुरा चाहिँ यसले देखाउँछ कि हाम्रो कस्तो भिजन ल्याक गरिरहेछ, हाम्रो माइन्ड कति न्यारो छ. वी लर्न फ्रम इक्जाम्पल्स एन्ड द गुड एन्ड द ब्याड इम्प्याक्ट्स. सो वाट ह्यापन्स इज हाउ वी क्यान लर्न विजडम. सो द क्वेसन इज बेसिकली आस्किङ यु विजडम कसरी सिक्न सकिन्छ त, अनि हाउ क्यान विजडम बी टट. So your answer must be related to wisdom can be taught with examples that we get in our life, the events which we face, the experience which we gain, etc. अनि you need to add कि like कसरी wisdom नभएको कुराले चाहिँ कसरी impact पार्छ अनि good र bad impact चाहिँ कस्तो हुन्छ. Moving on to the second question, moving on to another question, how this famous actress tried to convince earnest young woman. So this is from the story of A Matter of Husbands, where a young woman accused a famous actress of having an affair with her husband. So यसमा चाहिँ के हुन्छ भने the question is basically asking you कि how did the famous actress how was she able to convince the young woman. So what she did was she made appealing arguments which would make the young woman think that the famous actress is right. She says many other use the same way to make their वाइफ जेलस. अब उसले चाहिँ के भनेको थियो यसमा भने कि अर्को पनि डाइरेक्टर प्रड्युसर एक्टरहरूले चाहिँ यस्तै कुराहरू गर्छ, लाइक दे युज फेमस एक्ट्रेसेसको फोटोहरू गरेर फेमस एक्ट्रेसेस जस्ट टु मेक देयर पार्टनर जेलस. सी स्टेट्स द्याट हर हस्बेन्ड इज नट अ सिम्पल म्यान बट अ कनिङ लयर. उसले चाहिँ भन्छ कि लाइक तिम्रो husband is not very a simple man, he's a cunning lawyer who calls the flower guy and then asks him to bring the bouquet अनि लेटरहरू लेखेर राख्छ just to make you jealous. यस्तो केही पनि छैन, like we are not having an affair etc etc. यसरी चाहिँ she convinces the young woman. यति कुराहरू चाहिँ सुनेर even the young woman thinks that listening that her husband is not having an affair with the actress अनि उसलाई चाहिँ लाग्छ that it was her fault and to just suspect his husband. अनि she thinks that maybe the famous actress is right and he's just trying to make her feel jealous just to gain her attention. So yeah, त्यति मात्र about this one, and that's it for today. Thank you.